Assalamualaikum everyone. Today our topic of discussion is important topic of anatomy, which is about tissues present inside the human being. So in this topic, we study a detailed note on our epithelial tissues, connective tissues, and our muscular and the nervous tissues which are present in our body. So first of all, we have to discuss the types of tissue which are present in our human body. There are four types of tissues which are present. First is epithelial, muscular, nervous, and the connective tissues. First of all, we have to discuss the epithelial tissue. It is a type of tissue in which cells are tightly packed with one another, and they have no space and cavity between them, and they have no blood vessels in them. Okay, our connective tissues have blood cells and blood vessels in them. So the epithelial tissue is the outermost layer of the our skin and the outermost layer of all the internal organs. So therefore it has no blood vessels or no cavity or space like structure in it. So it has only layering cells. So it is a collection of cells which are tightly and closely packed with each other, or then these cells combines to give a epithelial tissue. Then we have to discuss its occurrence and its location, that where these epithelial tissues are present. Actually, epithelial tissue is very important because it is extended in all the system which are present in our body. We can't say that epithelial tissue is only all over our skin. No, epithelial tissue is present on all our organelles. For example, human body, we have a lot of organ systems. We say we have GIT tract system, we have our respiratory system, we have our cardiac system, we have our digestive system. So all these systems have lining of epithelial tissues. So epithelial tissue cover not only our external skin surface, it also cover all the internal surfaces. It cover our GIT tract. Our whole GIT tract is made up of the outer layer of GIT tract, and the respiratory tract is made up of epithelial tissue. So it is extended in every part of body. If we see muscular, so this muscular tissue is only confined to our muscular system. Our nervous tissue is only confined to our nervous system, and our connective tissue is only confined to our blood and bones, cartilage, and this like structure. But if we talk about epithelial tissues, so these tissue are extended in our whole body. They don't cover only one organ system, they cover entire and the whole organ systems, all the organ systems which are present inside the body. And their first layer, their outermost layer, is epithelial tissue. Okay, so it make our all the body tubes, the body tube whichever of its kind. It's the tube of GIT tract, it is a tube of respiratory tract, it is a tube of our cardiac system, it is a blood vessels, it is arteries, it is vein, it is capillaries. All these types of blood tubes which are present in our body are made up of epithelial tissue. So epithelial tissue has a vast and is very excluded expanded in our body system. So we can't look at epithelial tissue to a special location. So it is extended in our whole body. So all the substances that can enter and leave a organ must cross through the epithelial tissue. So I explained that epithelial tissue cover entire covering of our whole body. So if a substance is wanted to move out or diffuse in or out of the capillary, so this substance has to cross the epithelial tissue, because all the blood vessels and all these tissues have a covering of epithelial tissue over it. So all the substances which wanted to move out or inside, they have to cross the barrier of epithelial tissue. So we have discussed the definition, its location, and its occurrence, and then we discussed that all the substances have to must cross through the these epithelial tissue. Now move on to the next page. Okay, in this next page, we have to describe the types of epithelial tissue. We have discussed a lot of types of epithelial tissue, and these types are on a different basis. First of all, we have to divide epithelial tissue on the base of arrangement of cells, means how the cells are arranged in a tissue. So we have two types of epithelial tissue on the base of arrangement of epithelial cells. First of all, we have a membranous epithelium, then we have glandular epithelium. Okay, in membranous epithelium, the cells are arranged in the form of flat sheath like appearance देते हैं. Means the epithelium, for example, if you say for example of membranous epithelium, then you can add the example of epithelium which is present above our skin. The epithelium which is present above our skin consists of only a flat sheet like structure like this. This diagram show a single flat sheet of epithelium. This is the basement which is below over here, and these epithelial cells are arranged in a flat sheet like pattern. So this is the example of membranous epithelium, and these membranous tissues are lie on our basement. So they which are mostly connective tissues. Okay, after this basement, a lot of the internal space is covered by our connective tissue, and then our muscular tissue, and then our nervous tissue layers come. So after the epithelium tissue, the next layer would be of connective tissue, which will be discussed in late lecture. Then we have to define the example, our GIT tubules, our respiratory tubules, our pleural cavity means lungs की pleural का word हम lungs के लिए use करते हैं. So the lungs cavity and the cardiac cavity, all these types of cavity are made up of these membranous epithelium. Because if we use because for the respiratory tract we just need a single sheath of epithelium, because from the GIT tract and the respiratory tract we say the process of diffusion has to occur, because in say we say that in respiratory tract the alveoli have to perform the function of diffusion, because alveoli is responsible for the diffusion of oxygen inside the lung and the movement of carbon dioxide outside the body. So to perform the diffusion, there must be there is essential for us to for the presence of membranous epithelium on our respiratory tract.